Welcome to the Wild Grace podcast, where authenticity isn't a choice, it is your calling. Real, raw, untamed. This is your initiation into the wild. Hello and welcome to the Wild Grace podcast. I am your host, Mallika Foord, and today we are talking about perspective. Perspective is such a fucking powerful thing, and it really is all we have to grasp our personal reality on life. And I constantly remind myself that I can choose my perspective. So, to give you a little brief, recently I felt like I wasn't really getting the reality that I was choosing, and I felt stuck. I felt stuck in where I was. There was nowhere to go, and there was just this big sense of stagnation, and I didn't feel free. I felt trapped. I felt caged. And then you have your perspective on the current situation of your reality, and it can feel so real because it's visceral in the body. That feeling, you're being ruled by your emotions in that moment. And I sat with myself for a while, just thinking, I'm like, okay, so you can choose to feel stuck and stagnant in this situation. However, there are certain variables at the moment that you just have no capability to change. So my goal is freedom. My goal is to feel free, to feel alive, to feel grounded, to feel like I am in control of my life. And sometimes it really doesn't feel like you have control over your life. Sometimes it feels like life is controlling you. So how can you reclaim that power to then feel like you are in control? Because you're either in the driver's seat or you're the passenger. And that's just the way life is. It's sometimes very difficult to grab a hold of the reins when everything feels like it's tumbling around you. And that's the cosmic joke, right? Because you can either be sinking or you can be swimming, but it's up to you what you want to do. And it's really hard to grasp that sometimes, because when you are in the thick of it, when you feel like you're in the chaos, when you feel like you have no fucking control over what is going on, the only thing that you do have control of is you and your perspective on the situation, your perspective on reality. Is this going to break you, or is this going to make you? Are you going to use this as an opportunity to step into some newfound level of power within yourself? So go back to my situation. I felt out of control. I felt like I was just losing the reins. I felt like all of my manifestations that I had been building over the last 3 months was literally burning before my eyes, and I didn't know what to do about it. It felt unexpected, and it felt like I couldn't control the situation. So I sat down in a deep meditation. It was the full moon. And I said to myself, how can I feel free in this moment? How can I decide that what is going on is my choice? How can I change my perspective to realize what is going on for me is happening for me? It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And maybe, just maybe, the universe is conspiring with me, and what is going to come out of this is better than I could have ever imagined. And then a little tweak of excitement came into my body. I was like, what happens if this is all a part of the plan? And how can I feel free in this? How can I feel free in this moment? And it was literally just changing my perspective, because doors had been closed. doors had been closed. But when doors close, others open. In this particular situation, the doors that were closing, when I really look into them, they were a big distraction for my work, for my purpose, for my dharma. And I was enjoying those open doors a lot. And I had a lot of emotional investment in these doors. But once they closed, it felt like a bit of a shock. It felt like it wasn't my choice. When actually it was just this huge redirection of my energy into what is actually important. And it was almost like I had to reevaluate what was important to me. It made me question. It made me look within and think to myself, feel into my body, hey, what is your priority? What is your priority? Because when you are in your high flying ego, I guess, and everything's going right and the world is your fucking oyster and you just feel amazing, and then something goes wrong, and then another thing goes wrong, and then slowly but surely it feels like the world is crumbling. It's those moments that you have a choice. You have a choice to flip your perspective and ask yourself, how is this situation serving me? And I know that maybe some people out there would be like, oh, that's like toxic positivity. And there ain't nothing toxic about this positivity, because toxic positivity is when you are being positive, but internally you are suffering. And I can see straight through that bullshit. But when you are able and capable of switching your perspective from the inside and then you become positive about the situation, that is a completely different ballgame. Because you've integrated the lesson. You're like, oh shit, maybe I could have been better here. Maybe actually what is going on here is that the universe has my fucking back. And I am going in this new direction because it's better. Maybe I can't see how it's better right now, but I am trusting that on some level, it's going to be serving me and my core values of my soul's highest purpose better. And that's all you can do, right? You can only control yourself in any environment. As soon as you try to control others, that's when shit hits the fan. You can't control people. You can't control what they think, what they feel, how they act. The only way to positively influence your environment is to live your best self in a high frequency. And if you are showing up as your best self, if you are truly embodying what it's like to live in this higher state of being, of consciousness, that is the only way you can truly change your environment. And you're not doing it because you're intentionally thinking, I want to change the environment. You're doing it because you feel so empowered to stand in your power that no matter what is going on around you, you can be in your power, you can be yourself, you can be in your highest soul's alignment, and the world wraps around you in a positive way. So if you are in a time where things just really don't feel like they're going your way, whatever it might be, where it feels like you've really lost control of your situation or reality, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's being a parent, ask yourself, how is this situation serving me? Or how is my perspective not serving this situation? And figure out a way to flip the perspective. Because guess what? Flipping your perspective is just a single choice. It's a single decision. And once you have decided that, hey, I don't want to suffer in this, I want to be empowered in this, I want to trust in this, I want to have faith that everything's going to be better than I could ever have imagined. That's where the power lies. Because life cannot touch you. Because you're solid. And yeah, you can have ups and downs. You can have moments to forget who you really are, because I do it too. However, it's so exciting and exhilarating and liberating when you remember that actually you are in control of yourself and how you feel and your perspective on reality or the situation. That is when you get to fully reclaim yourself. Knowing that no matter what is going on around you, you've got your back. You've got your back. So, if any of this resonates, if any of you feel like, yeah, but this is so blah, 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 shit, this, whatever. I know, I get it. It is shit. I'm not saying it's not shit. All I'm saying is you can flip your perspective. You can step out of victim and back into the driver's seat of your life. And you can say, okay, so things didn't go the way that I'd planned. Things didn't go the way I expected them to. But that's your issue. If you have an expectation of the outcome, you are setting yourself up to fail. And I do it often because I love to manifest. I love to manifest far and wide, and I see the vision. And I want to draw that vision in, and I really want to experience that vision. And sometimes that vision doesn't always look the way that I expected it to. It doesn't mean it's not coming. It just means that it's taken another road to the same destination. And the destination might even not look the way that I envisaged it, but it holds the same essence. And I can give you a quick example of this. When I was a single mum, I would throw really random manifestations out there, and one of them was that I wanted a Tesla. And I had $200 a week to spend on food and rent and all of it. I would go to the markets on a Saturday and I would have $50 to spend on food. And so my friend and housemate at the time, she was like, oh yeah, go Mallika. You can manifest a Tesla, sure. You can manifest it out of nothing. Within 3 months of like really wanting that, I had a white Tesla parked in my driveway. It wasn't mine, but I was driving it. I still drive it, and I can use it whenever I want. And okay, I didn't buy it, it's not in my name, but I have direct access to it anytime that I want. And so this is the way that if I had attached to the outcome that I must own my own Tesla, then I would have been disappointed in the outcome when this is the reality that manifested. And so, it's the essence of the manifestation that really drops in when you truly believe and trust in yourself to do so. So, to wrap this up on perspective of life is fucking your power. Are you going to live in fear? Are you going to live in love? Are you going to live in an anxious state of like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen to me? Or I trust that whatever happens to me, I am going to be more than okay. I trust no matter whatever happens to me, I'm going to have more than enough to provide for myself and my family. And yes, I might not be exactly where I want to be right now, but internally, with this choice of perspective, I am exactly where I want to be right now. And it feels good to be me in this moment, in my power, knowing that I have this courage to believe, to trust that I am always taken care of. I'm always taken care of. The universe is working with me. Life is happening for me. So I'm sending lots of love out to all of you today who's listening to this. And I just invite you to take a deep breath and just let it out. And just go on trusting that you fucking got this. Until next time. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. And if you're ready to deepen your connection with the wild, the raw, and the untamed, explore the power of Blue Lotus with Blue Lotus Effect, awakening the mind, body, and spirit. Until next time, stay wild.